Hey everyone, Chris here for Thomann Guitars and Basses, and I have the absolute pleasure of having Ola Strandberg here.
Hey everyone.
Showing us the new N2 models, right? Standard and original range has a new generation, really.
The N2 line has been a long time coming. We put a lot of effort into the development into these or this new product line, and I mean we really wanted to find like player-centric improvements and not just like gimmicky kinds of things.
Okay.
And I mean I wouldn't say we ridicule I think an advantage of Strandberg as a brand that we don't have to rely on just tradition or craftsmanship.
Absolutely.
I mean, we want to honor those values, obviously, but we're about innovation and playability, etc. And I mean, how do you reinvent an existing like iconic design?
Yeah.
So these are obviously the Bowdens. So the shape is what it is, and the features have to kind of stay the same. So But we did put a lot of effort into this and had several iterations of various options and directions to take it. But I'm incredibly stoked with how they turned out. And they are like the evolution of the existing NX platform. I can begin with kind of the overall updates that are shared between original N2 and standard N2. So I guess the first, maybe the obvious one is we've updated the logo. It's just the fresh look. It's not going to contribute to the functionality of the instrument. But
tone is in the logo, just that you know. No, but it's cool that you can immediately spot it, like, oh, cool, that's the new one.
Yeah, and then the second thing, which is kind of subtle, but the top has an arch rather than just being flat with an arm bevel. So all in all, it's like a smoother contour for the arm. So that's also kind of obvious when you start looking closely. But then the big thing is that we moved to our ARC hardware platform, which debuted on the Bowden Essential line at the beginning of this year. And what we really wanted to accomplish with this is like usability and being more intuitive and easier to work with. So this is designed to, the way that first of all, you can intonate under full string tension, which you couldn't on the previous platform. It's always a balance between, usability and performance, and that's one thing we sacrificed before. But this, so the tuner housings, they will move back and forth, and the bridge is designed to give like a visual indication of an equal distance between the tuning knob and the housing for each string. So this optimized for like a 1046 set. So if you do change to other gauges, it's going to vary slightly, but at least it gives a visual indication of if something's out of alignment, it's probably wrong.
Something needs to be looked at.
Yeah, and the same thing, since we make our own hardware only for our guitars, we could match the radius of the bridge to the radius of the fretboard. So again, if something like is out of alignment, something is probably wrong. So we just want to bring that intuitive, like self-instructing aspect to the hardware. And the string height adjustment, which was still very fine, but in steps on previous, because you would turn the saddle half a turn each. This is now stepless, so it just takes away that kind of challenge, I guess, for people. So that's pretty cool. Those things are across the product lines. We also updated the string lock, something we did here from people before. We had kind of sharp edges on the hardware, and certain players, they would like hit
the side of the finger.
Yeah,
okay.
the index finger on that sharp corner. So
that is very smooth indeed. Yeah, on both ends.
It's a subtle update, but something that people have requested. Moving on in terms of like the series-wide updates. Look at the back of the guitar. We have a new controlled cover plate and a new control cavity with room for batteries and electronics. Yeah, that was kind of a design choice. And then the other thing is we changed the angle of the output jack. Because in certain, like if you rest the guitar on your left leg like this, certain output jacks could kind of dig into your thigh, which was not necessarily a problem, but it would put unnecessary tension on the output jack. Yeah. And the same thing, if you put it flat on the table, you could also put unnecessary tension on the output jack. Yeah, so this is now a little more hidden away. It's a steeper angle in that direction, and more shallow angle in that direction. So also kind of a player-centric, I think, improvement. And then the other thing, which is not obvious just when looking at them, is that we have we've always used carbon fiber reinforcements that we've like applied in our own proprietary way. So we replaced them with titanium rods inside the neck.
Wow.
Which that actually has a very distinct, like the feeling, the tactile response of the guitar changes, I think, in a positive direction. The neck, it just feels different. You and I were talking before when we first picked up the guitar, and it's noticeable.
I picked up this guitar and started playing just a couple of quiet chords, just let them ring. And the vibration actually tickles my thumb on the backside, which is, I feel in my legs, which is something that I wish for when I play a nice guitar. But like this amount of immediate reaction and feel in the neck itself is not always that obvious and it's not normal. So that was really, really interesting and a very quick response, like a very fast first attack, even without plugging it in. It just means feels very quick, as you say, like tactile.
Yeah, and it's something we work very, very carefully to balance. So it's pleasing. Certain instruments are like there's too little vibrations. When there's too much, it feels
strange.
It's like a fragile instrument.
Almost, yeah. Are those on the sides as well to give space for the truss rod in the middle?
Okay.
Okay.
Exactly. Conventional passive pickup technology, every parameter impacts all the other parameters. So if you make a wider pickup and wind it the same way, it's going to be like a different sounding pickup. So we really spent a lot of time getting, trying to achieve a cohesive sound signature across 6, 7, and 8. So it's like truly a family of pickup models. So we had a project several years ago with the legendary pickup designer Michael Frank Brown, who unfortunately passed away. So we weren't able to keep producing those pickups. But all the work that we did with him in terms of like voicing pickups that would complement the acoustic aspects of the instruments, we put that into this project. And more so on the original, which I'll talk more about soon. But on the 6 strings, we now have a Seymour Duncan, Sentient, and Pegasus set. So it's the normal 6-string version on the 6 string, But on the 7 and 8 string models, we worked with the custom shop to develop pickups with slanted bobbins, just to align perfectly with the strings. So yeah, we do get kind of that cohesive sound signature across the 6, 7, and 8, which is very nice.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like quite a challenge. Because as you say, like if anyone played the same kind of guitar 6 or 7 string even, which is less aggressive of a change than on 8 string, that's already a big difference. There's a different EQ curve, a different reaction. Everything reacts different, from the tremolo to the pickups and everything. So
pickup design is really, it's like a dark art. Very interesting, and it's been fascinating to be part of that process.
Wow.
And I'll get to that very shortly. And then on the standard line, again, kind of continuing on what the standard NX was, it's a solid basswood body. These now come with solid metallic finishes. Out of the gates, it's our transformative teal, and there's a black metallic. This is probably our biggest update so far in the evolution of the Bowden line. And I mean, certainly the hardware is a big contribution to that.
Which is the same type as the standard one, right?
Yeah, exactly. And some of the Bowden original, this really ties back to the first Strandberg guitar that I ever built. So it's a chamber swamp ash body with a maple top. These have the transparent finishes with the wood grain showing. These will debut in this black denim finish.
Black denim, that's the
and the my mind is drawing a complete blank now. What we call the red one.
Welcome in my world.
This beautiful red finish, which has an
Striking
amazing
sunset.
name that I came up with.
Which is not correct. Don't quote me on this. I will put it on screen though.
But anyway, so the big difference really on this, aside from the premium materials on the original N2 versus the standard N2, also got bird's eye maple fretboard. For those of you that have been around for some time, on the NX line, we went back to plain untreated maple. So roasted maple has also made its comeback.
Okay. Yeah.
The reasoning for moving away from it was really just a fallout in production.
Okay.
But we changed our processes, so roasted maple is back. But the pickups. So this is new concept that we call powered, POWR:D.
D, yeah.
So they are powered by a battery or a rechargeable battery pack. We developed them with Fishman on the Fluence platform, which is really cool because as opposed to what we were talking about before, where there's a magnet with a wire coil, and the length of that, the number of turns, the enamel use on the wire, etc., everything affects everything. The Fluence technology is still based on magnets, but then it's like stacked printed circuit boards.
They're stacked boards, right?
Yeah. And what this allows us to do is you can put a test or prototyping harness in here. Then you plug that into a DSP in a computer, and you can tweak the settings in real time. And as you
crazy.
play, you can change the characteristics of that.
That's so crazy.
And then when you're happy with the sound, you basically like download those settings and then reproduce it in the circuit that goes into the pickups.
Crazy. It gives you a huge amount of freedom to tweak
Yeah.
pickups. And also, I imagine that being much easier to change between like 6, 7, or 8 strings, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And then there are other aspects that are like the feeling of a passive pickup as opposed to the sound signature. But that's about like how quickly it responds and like where the resonant peaks are, etc. And a lot of those can also be reproduced despite this being an active pickup. So that's also why we want to kind of move away from the terminology active pickup because it comes with so much baggage. So we prefer to call them powered because they mimic they retain a lot of the feeling of a passive pickup.
Wow, okay.
But then it gives us the benefits of an active pickup. And in particular, this allowed us to kind of base the first voicing of these pickups on the original pickup that we developed with Michael Frank.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And as you pull the tone knob, you engage what we call the metal voicing.
Okay.
And this is not just a different voicing, it has more output. So it's higher output, it's a different tone signature. And what we actually also found, because it's slightly midier sound, we also found that like engaging the metal voicing, rolling off the volume a little bit to bring down the gain, and then bring down the tone knob, you get a really nice jazz sound as well. So it's not what we were aiming for, but it's like a positive side effect.
Happy little accident, right?
So
wow.
yeah, so these are really cool, and the so again, there's a 5-way switch that switches between the pickups in the original and metal mode, and then in the second and fourth position is like a third voice, which is like a single coil voice.
Wow.
It doesn't change with the knob, but it's yeah, Fishman would be able to describe this better, but yeah, it's like a third voice.
Okay, it's like an in-between kind of singer chord sound.
It's I mean, we will probably often refer to it as a split coil sound, but it's kind of more a single coil voicing of the pickup. So it's a really it's an incredibly versatile setup and really works with all kinds of musical genres and needs.
So how can we imagine like the first voicing? Is it more on the like traditional side of like passive pickup side, or is it like a medium output, lower output, higher output?
Yeah, it's kind of medium output, really versatile, touch sensitive, but yeah, kind of fairly
like
traditional.
A bridge between traditional and the modern take.
Yeah, I would say so, and it's really all the work that went into it was just targeted to like optimizing the sound signature to like the Strandberg resonance.
I really want to hear that guitar now.
As much as we're trying to break out of being like pigeonholed in the prog metal kind of scene, that's still where we have a lot of the players. And I still find that, I mean, there's more output, but again, just dialing back the volume a little bit, it's still super versatile sound signature, even though I'm almost regretting that we called it metal now.
Okay.
But
I think that's a cool thing.
It is something
that's a cool thing.
I think it's right up the alley of a lot of our
I mean, we've seen
players.
a lot of players playing amps and guitars that are not made for clean or funk or whatever, and use it for that. So I don't think that's anything that people cannot deal with, and it's a message also, like, hey, we got you covered.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna chug.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I guess the other thing which is kind of cool is that we redesigned these pickups also visually. So they're also arched to kind of blend in with the guitar itself. We beveled the corners, so it's a fresh new look that you haven't seen anything like it before. It's like a combination of the Fishman Fluence design language and the Strandberg aesthetics. So yeah, we're super stoked about these. And off the shelf, the original N2 guitars will have a conventional 9-volt battery in here in the battery clip.
Okay.
But for a variety of reasons, we have made this other backplate with a rechargeable battery pack.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Available as separate upgrade.
As an option.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of it is. This is still on here. There's still a micro USB,
Okay.
which I would hate to launch with an ancient technology.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're still waiting a little bit on the USB-C
USB-C to
version.
arrive. Okay.
So,
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
much
reason.
appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah.
'Cause,
So yeah, again, it'll maintain a clean look whether you have active or passive pickups, and there's still this flexibility of having it rechargeable.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that covers most of the.
That's really
Generics
exciting.
and
First of all, what
specifics.
you meant about what you said about the pickups being voiced consistently per series. Like for
Yeah.
the standard, there's going to be a voicing for those guitars, no matter how many strings you like, which version you choose. Same goes for the original, which is I think a very thoughtful thing, and a lot of people will appreciate, because if they just want to, I don't know, play 8 strings with crazy modern techniques, but then, I don't know, play some session shows and one D6 string as well, they know exactly that it's going to work with their presets and their whatever rig that they are using.
Yeah, and this it's something we've always done, like from the beginning of serial production of our guitars. We have had a 6, 7, and 8 string guitar in like the same lineup, and that's something we don't want to. I mean, we've had a Fusion NX. That's not going to exist in an 8 string. That's like a 6 string only model. Yeah. But for our core product lines, we still do want to maintain that the family covers the entire range, because the extended range guitars is really the genesis of the brand, and that's kind of where we started, got the most fame. And also, I mean, 7 and 8 string guitars, that's where like the multi-scale and the headless design and the other aspects, that's where it makes the biggest difference. It's
wonderful. Thank you so much for coming over, and also thank you, Sarah, for playing these guitars for us. And you guys check these guitars out for sure. You'll see them, of course, in the store. You'll find a link down here below for all the N2 models. And let us know in the comments below if you have any questions. If I cannot answer, I will reach out to the guys and ask whatever you want to know. So you guys take it easy.
Fantastic.
And see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ola. Bye-bye.